How's it going, everybody? I am Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day, and welcome to today's Pokemon Go video. Okay, now that the Hoenn GO Tour Event in Las Vegas came and went, we can kind of get an idea of how the global version of this event will go down. We do know that the global event won't be as robust as the Las Vegas event, but there will be some notable similarities. The purpose of this video will be to give you an understanding of what you should expect from the global event based on my experiences from the Las Vegas event. Right, so with that said, let's roll the intro and get right into it. Alright, let's talk about this. So, you are probably aware that the Las Vegas version of the Hoenn GO Tour event did not go well. I've already talked about it ad nauseum here on my channel, but basically, Niantic was clearly not prepared for that event. Well, now they have a clean slate, and hopefully they can deliver a positive experience this upcoming weekend for the global event. For this video, I'm going to first give you the basic rundown of the event itself, then explain what aspects of the event you should prioritize. As someone who attended the Las Vegas event, I can safely tell you what parts you should focus on most. Let's first do a basic rundown of the event itself. First and foremost, there is going to be a special research for you to complete. The storyline is called Chasing Legends, and will involve helping re-investigate Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon. I believe it is going to be completely different from the one we had in Las Vegas, and that totally makes sense. The Las Vegas special research had tasks that involved going to specific locations at Sunset Park, so I'm guessing the tasks for the global event will be more broad. Expect to see tasks similar to the special research from last year's GO Tour event and Pokemon Go Fest, where the focus will be on general gameplay elements like hatching eggs, powering up Pokemon in your collection, raiding, spinning Pokestops, and of course, catching Pokemon. However, since this is going to involve Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon, expect to do more raids than usual. Speaking of which, let's get into Primal raids. These raids should be your highest priority when it comes to this weekend. We don't know when Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon will ever return to Pokemon Go, so you will want to stock up on as much Primal Energy, Candy, and Candy XL for each of these Pokemon as you can during this event. If you are sitting on a bunch of premium raid passes and remote raid passes, this would be the time to use all of them. It takes 400 Primal Energy to Primal Revert either of them, and you get about 80 to 90 per completed raid. This means you will need to do at least 5 raids in order to get enough Primal Energy to Primal Revert them once. If you plan to consistently Primal Revert your Kyogres and Groudons, you will most definitely need to do plenty of raids for each of them this weekend. At Las Vegas, I did about 30 Primal raids, and I ended up with about 1500 Primal Energy each. If you want close to or more than that, then you should expect to do about that many raids. Something to keep in mind is that both Primal Kyogre raids and Primal Groudon raids were extremely difficult. Primal Kyogre raids were actually much tougher than Primal Groudon raids, as it doesn't have a double weakness to anything like Primal Groudon does. If you want to successfully defeat those raids, you will likely need full lobbies of 20 trainers. Thus, I would try to schedule your GO Tour playdates at high population areas like big cities or active towns. That way, you'll be able to complete these raids without issue. Remember how difficult Mega Latios and Mega Latias raids were when they first arrived? Well, both Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon are even more difficult than that, so do keep that in mind when you engage in these raid battles. Alternatively, you should consider joining up various Discords that will be hosting Primal raids. If you live in a rural area where full lobby raids are out of the question, then this could be your best bet for defeating these raid bosses. You will probably end up spending more Pokecoins than you typically would with remote raid passes, but I'd say it is definitely worth it. Both Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon are 2 of the strongest Pokemon in the game, and you will want to make sure you prioritize them however you can. Something else you should keep in mind, based on my experiences from Las Vegas, each Primal raid gives you far less Premier Balls than you typically would get. Thus, catching every Kyogre and Groudon is going to be extremely difficult, so make sure you best prepare for each raid encounter by stocking up on Golden Raspberries beforehand. You will want to make every throw count when it comes to these raids. By the way, during the global event, you will get to choose between either Team Ruby or Team Sapphire. This was a part of the Las Vegas event, and depending on how many players from each team completes more special field research tasks, their corresponding Primal will be in Primal raids more than the other. Speaking of field research, there will be a bunch of field research tasks that will be specific to this event. The rewards will vary, but we got mostly Hoenn Pokemon encounters as rewards at the Las Vegas event. This could be a cool way to get high IV shinies, so make sure you're doing them throughout the day. Alright, next up, let's talk about the shinies. It was recently reported by Niantic on Eurogamer that the shiny rate is going to be the perma boosted rate of 1 in 60 during the global event, even for those who do not make any ticket purchases. This is pretty good news if it is true. There are plenty of really good and really rare shinies within the Hoenn region, so expect to be grinding away for shinies throughout the event. Some of the notable shinies that you should focus on include Surskit, Gulpin, and Cacnea. These are the new shinies that are being introduced through this event, and will likely be hot commodities within the trading community. Shiny Kecleon is also something you should try to get, as it is quite a rare encounter to begin with. Thus, this could be your only opportunity to pick one up. Don't ignore those Kecleon when you see them. Also, there are those Hoenn regionals that will also have their shiny forms available during this event. In order to get them, you will need to hatch 10km eggs that you pick up during the event. My suggestion is that you clear all of your eggs this week before Saturday. That way, you can consistently get yourself a bunch of those 10km eggs and roll the dice on those shinies. Just like Kecleon, they are going to be extremely rare after this event ends, so this could be your one opportunity to get them. Finally, let's talk about that Masterwork research. This is going to be a long special research that will eventually lead to an encounter with Shiny Jirachi. For anyone who attended the Las Vegas event, they will already have the Masterwork research after completing the primary special research from the event. For global players who didn't attend Las Vegas, they will need to purchase a ticket in the Pokeshop that will give them the Masterwork research for $5 USD. This may be your only opportunity to get Shiny Jirachi, so I would say that it is worth $5. You can complete it whenever you want, so don't feel pressured to get any of the steps done during the global event. Alright, so there you have it. This was everything you should expect during the global Hoenn Tour event. I'm hoping it'll be free of any bugs and issues. Since the Las Vegas event was extremely laggy and unplayable, it would be nice to get a do-over with the global event. Don't forget to be aware of your surroundings while you play, and consider joining up with a group for the most optimum results. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Leave your thoughts down below what you think about the global Hoenn Tour event. What are you planning to do this weekend? Share all of that down below in the comments, and let's have a great discussion. And if you ended up enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, big or small, then be sure to check out the links in the description below. For all my patrons, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way, like with remote raids, then do consider becoming a patron on my Patreon. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.